Welcome back to the Robotics Show right here on yourliveevent.com. Right now, Hatton Northwood Robotics team is joining me, and it's Thunder Robotics is their club name. Their team 876. We got Freya joining us, and also Reed, Cooper, and Hannah. So we'll just ask some questions here. We'll go right down the line. Freya, you're going to be up first. Now, you guys, let's see. We'll talk about the first meet. I think it was the first meet of the year, right? The Duluth meet this last weekend.
Yes.
Okay. So, how'd you guys do? What all happened there in Duluth?
So we ranked first in the qualification matches, and then we were the alliance captain of the number one alliance, and that alliance ranked fourth during the finals. Everything for the most part went pretty well. Obviously we didn't win, so that's kind of a little bit of sad part, but everything like from robot to performance went really well.
Okay. So, Freya, what's your role? And then we'll just go down the line. Then Reed, you're up next after Freya.
I am the team's technician, and so I know a little bit of everything, or a lot of everything.
Yep.
Okay.
I'm a driver and a builder, and I do a little bit of wiring. So.
I am the head CNC, and I'm also the human player.
I am the head of our awards and impact team. So I write all the essays and try and have our team do more within the community.
Okay. Awesome. Freya, maybe talk about, we'll just go right down the line again. Maybe talk about some of the biggest challenges that you've faced, so far this year, or even at the Duluth competition.
Probably one of our biggest challenges this year is the robot has to do three different things. So I'll specify on like what I think is the hardest one. And the hardest one, I believe, is the climbing, because you have to get the robot to hang on this cage that hangs from a chain, and it hangs 3.5 inches off of the floor. So you have to get the robot completely off of the floor so it doesn't touch, even when it's like swinging and all of that. So I feel like that was one of our most difficult components.
I think the climbing thing also, but also the autonomous. The fields are a little off, so each side was a little bit different, but we fixed it, so that's good.
Yeah, same as they said, the climbing and the autos are probably the two biggest things that we didn't really figure out till we were at the competition.
So my perspective is a little different, but I think that my biggest challenge is competing with these bigger schools, because I feel sometimes they have more opportunities to do much bigger things that our impact in our smaller communities is often overlooked.
Okay, sounds good. Favorite part of Robotics Club, Freya?
My favorite part is probably the atmosphere, just that farce brings, and how many things, like how many different opportunities you have, and then just like how many life skills you learn while in first robotics.
For me, it's gotta be the problem solving. There will always be problems in life, but how you get through them is problem solving. And a person depends on problem solving to, do well in life.
For me, it's a lot of the same stuff and just learning new things, like new skills that'll help you a lot later on in life.
I like talking to people and learning about what they do and what their team does, and then also telling them about what I do.
Okay, awesome. Maybe you want to talk about some of your goals for this year for the robotics, Freya?
Our one of our goals every year is to do well and to compete at a high level. And that comes with a variety of other goals as well. I'm sure they'll get into some of those, but I'll talk on like a little bit of for programming. We wanted to get at least a couple of autos that we could use at Duluth, and then just have a robot that could programming wise perform well, and we see where we can work a little bit more for this next competition to come up. So
One of my goals is to build a good robot that can do a lot of things, mostly everything, with a couple exceptions. So, and then program that robot to do the things that the mechanical can do.
Yeah, my probably biggest goal this year is learning to CNC. Our guy who did it last year left, and so I had to pick that up, and also training another person this year. So
My biggest goal is to get our after school programs more involved in robotics. And we are working with both schools right now, and both of the advisors are very excited to have us start coming in and working with those kids.
Freya, and we'll just go down the line again. How many years you been in the Hatton Northwood Robotics Club?
I have been with the team for 4 years.
Okay.
I've been with the team 3 years.
this is my third year also.
This is my second year.
Maybe talk about like as far as the design process, compare it, this year and last year. Has it changed? Is it the same?
I would feel for the most part, the design process itself stayed the same, but what we were brainstorming for definitely changed because the game changes every year. So it brings a new challenge or challenges to our to our drawing room and into the build and just into the shop in general. So we're having to brainstorm, but the process is all the same, I believe.
We do a lot of prototyping, but that usually stays like the same style prototyping. We just, use some motors with like a 50 throttle controller with probably some Krakens sometimes or Falcons, and we find the distance for stuff by using the prototypes. We build it out of wood, you know, but that's like how we do it every year. So
Let's see. The biggest difference this year is probably that there's multiple kinds of game pieces that you have to work with. So last year it was mostly just you have one piece and you're trying to figure out what to do with it, but now you have to figure out how to get the robot to be able to manipulate both.
Yep. I don't build the robot.
Okay. All right. All right. Sounds good. So what are you guys working on right now? You're getting ready for Grand Forks, right?
Yes.
Okay. So give us each, what do you got working on right now? Is it kind of the same project as Duluth or a little different?
So we're working with the same robot, because we're still in the same season but we're definitely getting more autos, getting the robot, the elevator to work faster, getting the drivers more practice, and then just getting other things ready for the upcoming competition.
I think that building is mostly focusing on making a better mechanically climber to make it more balanced and stuff. And yeah, just that. That's mechanical mostly. That's all mechanical.
That's it.
So we had to write this essay and answer these questions, and then we submit them and about our impact and the things we do in our community. And then we have to create a presentation based on our impact to give to the judges at the regional we go to. So for upcoming Grand Forks, we have to practice our presentation and get ready to present that.
Okay, awesome. All right, well, we'll let you go here. Thanks for joining us. We appreciate it, and good luck rest of the season here. Anything else you'd like to add, Freya? And are you good, or anything else you'd like to add at all?
If you're not sure about first, come do it. It's a lot of fun, teaches you life lessons, and that's about it.
You can always find competitions around the world on Blue Alliance. So, and then our doors are open.
Oh yeah, we should mention that. How do you open? How do you welcome new members? I guess, or whoever wants to chime in, go ahead.
So we kind of welcome new members by, getting to know a little bit about them. So their name, what they're interested in. So that could, for me it was program. I was interested in all of it except really the writing. I'm not a big writer, but so I bounce around a lot. And so part of my job right away in the beginning of the season is getting to know a lot of the new members and people looking at it and kind of spreading the word, and then I'll get to know them where they're looking at, and then I can help guide them to what area I think that they would like the most. So
Okay. Anybody else? Final thoughts?
Yeah, Greg, I do. I'm gonna
Mike?
stick,
Yep.
I'm gonna stick my head in here in a second, but that NMRC, the Northern Minnesota Robotics Conference, is just fantastic, and they have built that up. Matt Wentland and Jesse Frost, and all the other people. But it is you talk about cooperation. I mean, we have a great competition in the fall. We have our conference championship, and then we have our open. But everybody helps each other so much. Somebody puts out an email, and we need this part, we need that part. I need help on this programming. What are you doing for chairman's, or what are you doing for the Impact Award? And it is just a super conference, and we are proud to be a part of it. And it's just really enriched our lives. So we try to get any new teams to become members or active members. And there's a limit. I think we're up to maybe just over 30. I'm not positive, but it's a lot of fun. So I would encourage other teams, if they're already in it, to take a more active role. And if they're not in it, maybe think about becoming a part of the conference. We're not even in Minnesota, and but we're one of the founding teams, so we get to be in there.
How many years Thunder Robotics program now? How many years is this the program here?
this is our 24th season. Our rookie year was 2002.
Okay, awesome. Well, sounds good. Well, thanks, you guys. You did a great job, and good luck on your next in Grand Forks. So,
at Enbridge, we're focused on relationships. 23 Canadian First Nation and Métis communities now own an equity stake in Enbridge Athabasca Pipelines. In Minnesota, Enbridge has spent $450 million and counting with Native-owned companies and in wages to tribal members working on Line 3. Every day brings new collaborations, partnerships, and possibilities. Learn more at Enbridge.com.
I'm PJ Rund, and I live in Mission Court in Ada, Minnesota. Here, there are a lot of people like it here. Well, what could be better?
I'm Molly, and I have lived here a little over 3 years now. I like the fact that I don't have stairs or elevators, and there's always some activities around here.
You can't help but like it here. That's what I say.
Gordon Construction of Mahnomen is a Native American-owned business proudly operating on the White Earth Indian Reservation since 1983. As a bonded general contractor, Gordon Construction provides years of experience in large, detailed, and within-budget projects. Gordon Construction is committed to the safety of its employees and the environment of its work sites. To learn more about Gordon Construction of Mahnomen, visit gcmahnomen.com or call 218-935-2191.
Welcome back to the YLE Robotics Robotics Show. I'm Jack. I'm actually here with the Red River Rage. That is team 7048 or 7048. I don't know why I had to say it so oddly, but hey, why not be a little weird? But with that being said, I'm actually here with two of the team members, and I'm going to let you guys kind of introduce yourselves.
Well, I'm Everett. I'm the lead of the mechanical team on Red River Rage.
I'm Carson. I am a driver and the lead on the impact team on Red River Ridge. This is my 4th year on the team, and this is his 2nd year on the team.
Oh, perfect. Well, before we really get into the nuts and bolts and everything else, with what's going on with the Red River Rage this year, how are you guys doing today?
I'm doing great personally. How about you?
Oh, but that is probably the first or maybe second time anybody has been like, "Hey, how are you doing?" I'm doing good. I'm doing well. I'm doing very well. No, perfect. But okay, let's get into the build season. Let's get into that because I mean we haven't talked to you since really we haven't talked to you yet. So how was the build season for you guys?
The build season has gone pretty well so far. We've had a couple hiccups. One of them was our motors were bad. We have these Kraken motors for our drive system, and 2 of them were bad out of the box, and we only had 1 replacement. That was really a waste of time for us. It took a lot of time to fix that. But other than that, our build season has gone really great. We are far ahead of where we were last year.
This has easily been probably one of the most productive build seasons that I've been a part of.
Okay, a few hiccups with the engines and everything else like that, but you guys are both kind of singing from the same page here that it's a lot better than it was last year. Why do you think it is better than it was last year for you guys?
Well, this year we had a regional event on week 1 of competitions out of week 6. Last year we had a week 3 competition was our first one. And the week 1 competition just really pushed us to get everything done as fast as we possibly could because it was pretty early in the season to have a competition. We needed everything done.
I also think, just an extra year of experience added onto that really helped with our design and build process.
That's also true.
Oh, perfect. Now, another year, how many teammates are coming back or have done this before? How many new teammates do you guys have?
Well, we are pretty much all seniors. We have about 9 people on our team, and I think 8 of them are seniors this year. 6?
6 are
okay.
seniors.
But we are a majority seniors, and that's kind of a double-edged sword because on one side, we're the most experienced we've ever been. On the other side, next year, we're going to have nobody.
We are working with middle school and elementary school level robotics teams to ensure that when we are gone, there will still be robotic students to join this team.
Oh, cool. Now, you say working with, are you, what does that look like? What does working with looks like?
Well, currently we're coaching 3 middle school level teams in the Moorhead area. And it's a private Moorhead school, so a lot of them end up going to the Fargo Public School area. And there's a couple of those students who have already expressed interest in joining the team when they graduate.
Oh, awesome. Well, like you said, it's a double-edged sword, but it's a good thing for this year. We'll see what happens in a year and everything like that. But let's talk about this year. Let's talk about this year's game. What do you think of this year's game?
I think it's a lot more interesting than last year's game. Last year, the purpose of it was to pick up like these foam rings and shoot them into a certain spot. And the game largely consisted of just like that aspect. There was parts of it with like putting in different spots to get like extra points. But this year is more of a pick and place game where we have to pick up these PVC pipes and put them on like this tree, this algae branch or coral reef. And different levels represent different points. And there's algae on the reef that blocks certain points, and you have to be able to take those out, place them somewhere else. There's like a barge area where you can climb cages, which I've seen a lot of interesting like defense strategies put there. I think it's a way more complex game than last year.
Yeah, this year has a much more nuanced gameplay than last year, for sure.
Now, I want to come back to defense because that's interesting because last year was pretty simple to figure out like, okay, this is how you guys are going to play defense and everything like that. But You brought up all the different ways to score and every single thing you guys got to do. You got to place stuff, you got to pick stuff up. There is even a shooting portion of it if you guys even decide to do that. But with that being said, there's so many ways to find and get points. I mean, how did you guys really decide like, hey, this is how we're going to design the robot. This is how we're going to like really play the game this year, because it seems like there's so much, and it for me it looks like, hey, you can get really lost in the sauce just with trying to do a little bit of everything.
Yeah, for sure. There's a lot of strategy to this year's game. And what we do is right after kickoff, when the game gets announced, we all get together as a team, and we're in a classroom with a bunch of whiteboards, and we go over everything, and we just decide, what do we want to focus on? What is the best strategy? This year we decided that coral, the PVC pipes that you place on the reef, would be the best thing to focus on. After the regional, we learned that was not necessarily the case. But when we kick off, we just get together and decide what we're going to do with basically the engineering and design process.
Now, swinging back to defense, go into that a little bit more. What does defense actually look like? Because I was there for week 0, and it's week 0, but even in my head, I'm like, man, how are you playing defense on this?
Yeah, so the defense it's not as common as it was last year, as there's those cages in the middle of the field, and you have to bring your bot through that. So unless the cage your bot's really low, and you have the high cages, you're gonna be hitting your own cages, which cause them to shake and move, which makes it harder for your team to climb at the end. Or you have to go through the enemy side, which just gives you penalty points. But once you're on that side, defense is so devastating because not a lot of teams have been prepared to play defense or play around defense. So a single bot on the other side of the field can really slow down like their cycle time. And beyond just like a physical bot defense, in the Duluth regional, we saw a lot of teams that were able to pick up the algae and take them out of the reef, but they weren't able to score them at all. So instead, they'd launch them into their enemy's climbing area, so that when they tried to climb, they'd have to try and get around those balls. And I've even seen multiple bots get stuck on the balls.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Now you see, I always love talking with you guys, because man, again, it's I see the game, I watch some of the stuff, and I'm just like, man, I wonder how this, that, everything else. And I played high school sports, a little bit of college sports and everything else, and I was always defensive guy. So I love when it's like, okay, this is how we're playing defense. But yeah, no, that is interesting. Once you get over to that side, it does seem like, hey, like you brought up, not a lot of people are expecting an extra bot over there to mess with the timing there.
Yeah, at Duluth, I had a couple of matches where I got defense played on me really hard, and it was devastating. The robot would just sit right in front of the source or the coral station. I couldn't pick up anything. All that robot had to do was sit there, and that was completely blocked off. So defense is certainly a viable strategy this year.
We even had to quickly program in a way to pick up from the other side of our robot to kind of counteract defense when it shows up, because of how much of a pain in the butt it is.
Yeah. So, okay. So even like on the fly, you guys are programming, picking up from the other side. So like during the build season, are you actually planning for that, where it's like, well, we might have to pick up from the other side? Or was it just like, okay, hey, we have to pick up from the other side, we got to figure this out while you guys are in Duluth?
Like, I think we originally planned to be able to pick up on both sides, and then at some point we were like, we're probably not going to need to, so we ignored it up until we got to Duluth and realized this is actually really important, we should add it in.
Yeah, I mean, the funny part is, technically that was the plan from the beginning, to pick up from both sides. We just didn't see the use for it, so it never got programmed in. But then when we got defense played on us this match, we just decided, you know what, this has to get programmed. It took them like 10 minutes.
And again, like that to me is mind blowing. You're talking to a guy who can't like toast half the time. So you guys being able to program, fix stuff and like that, it's always amazing talking with you guys. Now on Duluth, everything else, it seems like it was a very good outing for you guys. Winning the Engineer Inspiration Award. Can you go a little bit into that? What is the Engineer Inspiration Award? How do you win it?
So, Engineering Inspiration is an award that is given out to a team that the first judges believe has put the most spread STEM throughout their community the most and has left the biggest impact on the community within that last year. And it's primarily focused around how you've promoted STEM and grown STEM, but they also take into consideration like your volunteer work and stuff outside of that. And we're one of a very small number of teams over the course of 30 years of FIRST that have won it 2 years in a row. And we are the only North Dakota team to have ever won it.
That is absolutely impressive. Now, it does sound like it's very, very difficult. This is something that is, like you said, it's a world thing. So you guys winning it not just once but twice. Is this something that you guys are actively like going like, hey, we're going for this award, or is it something like, hey, if we get it, we get it. If we don't, whatever.
These last 2 years, we have worked around trying to get this award. We've made scrapbooks documenting everything we've done in our community. Like this year, we coached a team in Cameroon for the first global event. We coached a handful of FTC teams, ran FTC and FLL events. We did a lot of other volunteer work. We hosted a Jumpstart event to help train and introduce like different aspects of FIRST and STEM with new students. Like this year, we tried our best to document everything we did.
Okay. No, that's awesome. Now, just I want to touch on helping and coaching a team from Cameroon. I am going to butcher the name, but Cameroon. How was that? How was that experience?
So I kind of spearheaded the Cameroon coaching. The way it worked was once a week we'd meet it would be 7 a.m. for us and like about 1 o'clock in the afternoon for them. And I'd meet on a Zoom call. I'd talk with them, see if they had any difficulties or struggles, and we'd work with that. And a couple times they had programming issues, and so I'd send stuff like that towards our programming team and like our programming coaches so they can help with that. A lot of the time, they were a great group of kids to work with. They were a really self-sufficient team. I mostly helped out with encouraging them to do social outreach in their community and like strategizing with the game. Halfway through my coaching time with them, I wound up being in Germany for a foreign exchange trip, which we ended up doing some outreach there as well. But while I was there, the time schedule lined up way better. So I could like just talk with them during my lunch.
That is awesome. That is really awesome. No, that's fantastic. That is absolutely fantastic. Now, looking ahead, we got Grand Forks next week. I believe, what is it? It's that practice day. It's arrival day is Wednesday, and you go until Saturday. So my question is, you just came off of Duluth to Grand Forks. What is practice looking like for you guys? What is, robotics looking like for you?
Yeah, so we learned about a lot of things in Duluth, changes that we have to make. Our first regional is always kind of an eye-opener for us because it shows us all of the things that we have to fix before our next regional. And that's what we're doing right now. Like, as I'm talking to you, we have people that are right over there in the shop who are fixing the robot. We have it all taken apart, and we're making changes. And we only have like 2 weeks to do this, but we're changing the intake, we're changing the climber system, we're changing the elevator. We're making all of these changes that are going to make us really competitive in Grand Forks, I hope.
That is awesome. Actually, so like they are literally just like right off to the right of you, like doing this, or left or right, whatever direction.
Yeah, they're just down the hall.
Oh, they're down the hall. I was like, oh man, you're in the like they're really quiet for doing a whole bunch of work and everything like that. Wow. But no, that's fantastic. That is awesome. Um last few last few questions for you. Well, for both of you, it senior year, you guys have already talked about that. Um how is it like what's your mindset with it being the senior year for you guys?
Go ahead.
So I think this is really like the year to make an impact and show like to our like our schools and our community what robotics is about. Because throughout my entire 4 years on the team, it's been a constant like uphill battle to get our team really recognized by our community. And we've made inroads in recent years. Like we've got to talk with the mayor, we've gotten our voice out in like certain PTA meetings and stuff. But we're still just trying to truck along and cement ourselves as one of those cornerstone activities, the way like a football team or like a track team is in a high school.
And believe you me, and coming into this is maybe third year really involved, really learning about robotics and everything else. Believe you me, it's way too much fun. Check it out, watch the broadcast, go to the events. It, it is far too much fun, and it is really, really interesting to watch. Just the robots are fantastic. I'm telling you right now that watching the students and everything else even better, because what they're doing is absolutely nuts with this stuff. But with that being said, Grand Forks, what is the goal when it comes to Grand Forks?
The goal is to win. And by that, I mean being competitive. Because in Duluth, we ran into some problems with our robot. Pretty much every match, it was something new. It was just we didn't have enough time to test it, and we didn't have enough time to practice. And Grand Forks is the regional that we're going to hit really hard in terms of we're going to be competitive at this regional. We're going to give all the other teams a run for their money. And we don't have to worry about qualifying for Worlds because we already did that with the Engineering Inspiration Award. The goal is just to win and maybe take some other teams to Worlds as well.
That's awesome. Now, if I'm not mistaken, Worlds is Worlds still in Houston, or am I thinking of something?
Yep.
Okay, so still in Houston this year. Okay, fantastic. Um, now, last question, again, senior year, everything else. If you had to pick, what is your favorite memory when it comes to robotics?
That's a good question. I would have to say Worlds last year. Going to Houston last year for the same reason as we're going to go this year. It was a great experience. It was a great venue. There were so many people there. There was so much to do, so much to see in Houston. It was great. And I'm really hoping we can go this year, hoping we can just raise enough money to do that again, because it was a great experience.
All right. Well, guys, seriously, thank you both for your time. It's always awesome talking with you guys. Any last thoughts? Anything else you want to share? Anything else you want to shout out before we boogie on out?
I'd just say if you haven't checked out First yet, check it out, because even like the elementary level of First is so impactful on the students and like their community. It's amazing to see what First can do for like a group of people.
It's great. It changes lives. I mean, you come out of FRC as a much better person than you do going in.
That's a big thing. A lot of a very, very well-known kind of saying is, hey, we're not building robots, we're building we're building the kids. And I don't like calling you guys kids. You guys are very much young adults. You guys all act like young adults. It's fantastic to interact with everybody in the robotics league and NMRC and FIRST and everything like that. It's fantastic. But with that being said, again, thank you guys so much. We'll see you in Grand Forks. For everybody else, we'll be right back.
And the Your Live Event Robotics Show continues here on Your Live Event here with Mike Vogelwed or Weed of Thunder Robotics. And Mike, we have a huge event coming up here this upcoming week, the Great Northern Regional. And for our audience maybe aren't familiar with robotics or the NMRC, just kind of want to give us a little preview of what this event is.
Oh, we have 54 teams coming from all over, and they compete in the Alara Center. 3-on-3 tournaments. It's a random assortment, and they play off to see who gets the right to be number one. But basically, we have 54 high school teams made up of the elite kids of those particular schools, all together in one spot, along with their mentors and fans and big sponsors. It's all free. It goes on all day Friday and most of the day Saturday, and people can sit in the stands and watch the action. There's a match every 5 minutes, and if they miss their particular team that they want to watch, sit around, visit, and in an hour they'll be up again. So it's a good chance to watch the academic stars of this generation compete against each other and their ability to build a competitive robot.
And what really stands out the most about this event, maybe compared to other NMRC or area robotics events?
Good question. Several things. I think it is one of the most competitive. I know that we've had teams that have said, why do we want to go there? It's so tough. It is tough. Our accessibility is unbelievable. Just pull off an interstate and you're there at the Alaris. Also, parking is terrific. No log jams for parking, and then in the facility itself, we have the whole football field arena in which to have our playing field and our stands and our pits where every team works on their robot, and the sponsors tables and machinery shows. It's unbelievable. A lot of people walk in there and they look around, they look up at the height of the ceiling, and they just, wow.
And are the pits open for visiting during the event?
Yes.
And
the only requirement is that safety is paramount, so they give out safety glasses to everybody unless you already have them. And you tour, you ask. It's great. Everybody, all the kids want to tell you about their robot and what they went through, their trials and tribulations of making it, their successes, and every pit you stop at has a great story. And that's what makes it so tough, I think, for the judges at Preston when they go from pit to pit. The stories are so good, and the enthusiasm of the kids in explaining what they just spent the last 2 months working on. It's really contagious.
And it's, if you kind of want to go and see all the work that's being done in the pits and talk to the students, this is kind of the event to do it too, because they have a lot more space for traffic into there, I assume, as well.
You're right. Plus, they all give out freebies. Most teams trade buttons, and they give the public buttons, and kids like to collect and see how many they can get. And so there's all that. So it is, they just walk through, and you just got to watch out if there's a robot on a cart coming, and they usually tell you robot. You just move to the side and keep on. So it's a beehive of activity, that's for sure.
Awesome. And how about how was Thunder Robotics feeling heading into the Great Northern Regional? Pretty happy with your guys' robot here so far?
Yeah, pretty happy. We were really pushing it going into Duluth a week ago, and some things when you're forced, things come together. So we did pretty well at Duluth, and we knew what we had to change. So we're implementing those changes now, and as we speak, they're working on the stuff in the next room. But I think to answer your question, yes, pretty happy so far. We're not ready quite yet, but we should be.
And Mike, just terms of season goals for Thunder Robotics here this year, what is your team kind of hoping to accomplish here? Do they have a certain goal set in mind?
Well, several, but our main goal is by win the Impact Award if we could, and to try to make it to the World Championship in Houston, but not only make it, but to achieve something there. So if we could win our division at the Worlds, you move on to something called the Einstein Field, and we would dearly love to achieve that level if we could.
And for people maybe unfamiliar, just what is that whole award for you guys there, the Impact Award? How would you describe it?
The Impact Award used to be called the Chairman's Award, and it's your team's ability to affect probably other communities, other students getting involved with science and technology, engineering and math and arts, and getting teams started, working with the youth, getting kids to be community involved. So when they become adults, that they become productive members of their future community. And that's the real goal. The robot building is the means by which you're building kids, you're building students. And I see it all the time in the other mentors around the conference. That's the Impact Award, kind of summarizes what your team does.
Okay. Well, Mike, was there anything else that you wanted to mention here about robotics, or any shout outs, anything like that before we get going here today?
Well, I just think that the Great Northern Regional in Grand Forks is awesome. And if you can get there, whether you're an adult with little kids, a parent, or a business owner, or
Awesome. Well, Mike, if there was nothing else, thanks again for the time here today, and good luck to you guys over at Thunder Robotics the rest of the year.
Thank you very much.
Looking for a bank that truly cares about your financial well-being? That would be the First National Bank of McIntosh. Their experienced staff is dedicated to providing exceptional customer service and helping you find the right financial solutions for your needs. From personal to business banking services, they have everything you need to take control of your money. Plus, their commitment to the local community means that your money stays where it matters, right here in McIntosh. Trust First National Bank of McIntosh, equal housing lender, member FDIC.
In today's competitive market, your company needs a manufacturing partner that can deliver high-quality products, on-time delivery, and unmatched expertise. Team Industries of Bagley has been a leading provider of precision machining and manufacturing services for over 50 years. Whether you need custom-made parts, precision engineering, or complete assembly services, Team Industries of Bagley can help you take your manufacturing to the next level. Visit their website today to learn more about their capabilities or give them a call to schedule a consultation. At Winnie Mac School, we're shaping the leaders of tomorrow with dedicated teachers, a strong sense of community, and opportunities to excel in academics, arts, and athletics. We strive to give every student a chance to succeed. From kindergarten through high school, we offer a supportive environment where students can grow, learn, and discover their full potential. Together, we're building a brighter future. Join the Winnie Mac family, where education and community go hand in hand at the Winnie Mac School.
Welcome back to the Your Live Event Robotics Show. I'm Jack. I'm here with a man with way too many hats. I almost feel rude just saying a few of them, but Rory, I will say this, is the only reason that it is as fun and as easy when we go and do the live broadcast. You're the only reason it is that simple for us. So again, I almost feel bad just introducing you because you have way too many hats. So I'm going to let you introduce yourself and all the titles you have.
Sounds good. Thanks for having me, Jack. Yeah, so Rory Held, I am one of the coaches for 7048 Red River Age out of Fargo. Also a mentor for 4360 Spudnik. If that isn't busy enough, I am on the STEM Alliance board as the vice president this year in Fargo Moorhead. That STEM Alliance is there to promote STEM education up and down the Red River Valley. So robotics is certainly there. I'm also on the Great Northern Regional Planning Committee. So our big day is coming up here very soon. We can't wait. It takes about a year to plan the regional event. And as soon as Grand Forks is done for 2025, we'll start planning 2026, just to make sure that everything is as amazing as we can. We kind of pride ourselves and want to keep trying to have the best regional we can and give the best experience to the students. I am also a volunteer for FIRST and NMRC. FIRST, I'm the FTAA, Field First Technical Advisor Assistant for the field. Basically, when you're in that role, your job is to make sure the robots are on the field, they're running, and the teams are having fun. For NMRC, I am their FTA, the Field Technical Advisor, First Technical Advisor. Again, my job is to make sure that the robots are on the field, they're running, and everything is functioning and operating like we would expect anywhere else. So it's a lot of fun. Yes, like you said, I wear a lot of different hats, and that's just because I see what FIRST has done for students, and really want them, anytime you walk into a robotics event with these FRC robots, that it feels the same. It operates seamlessly and that everybody's having a ton of fun. And at the same time, with all this fun everyone's having and our students are having, at the core, it's an educational program, and certainly getting that touch and feel for STEM, and hopefully gaining them some insight and interest in pursuing STEM as a career for them down the road.
And again, when you say making sure all the events look and feel and everything else, like it truly is. It does not matter. And we're going to talk here shortly about Grand Forks. It doesn't matter if we're in a giant arena like we are in Grand Forks, or if we're in a tiny gymnasium. It's always the same atmosphere. It's always fantastic. Now, with that being said, let's actually talk about Grand Forks. Can you explain a little bit of what is happening in Grand Forks?
Yep. So Grand Forks next weekend, we actually all start moving in Wednesday next week for setup. So Wednesday we'll be setting up the field. It's really kind of cool the way the fields work. The field that we'll be playing on in Grand Forks was actually one of the fields last week in Duluth. So that field was packed up, put in a semi truck, and gets shipped over to the Grand Forks event for Great Northern. We take the afternoon, we set the field up. make sure all the electronics are working, make sure that everything's set up, ready to go. Teams will start moving in Wednesday afternoon, Thursday morning, and Thursday morning then is inspection practice day and last minute adjustments, finishing up the robot. There's always a few, oh, this part came in, or hey, we had this issue. Every now and then you hear the story that, yeah, we were driving the robot last night and the intake fell off. It's like, oh my gosh, so Thursday is inspection and practice day. Friday is when all the events kick off. Friday morning right away, we kick off with opening ceremonies. We have some great speakers lined up to come welcome us to Grand Forks, welcome the teams, and then we jump right into qualification matches. Qualification matches will run until Saturday afternoon, at which point Saturday afternoon we'll do alliance selections, and then we will go into our double elimination bracket to determine who's going to be crowned the regional winner for the Great Northern Regional this year. So Friday, Saturday are fantastic days. Coming out to the Alaris Center in Grand Forks. It is free and open to the public, and come see all the awesome activity and all more than robots too. We'll certainly have lots of 54 teams there with all of their robots and competition. It is fast paced energy. I guarantee you will see something that you've never seen before. And I say that doing this for my 16th year, where I still see things I've never seen that before. That is awesome. We also have some fantastic sponsors that are going to be there. John Deere, Marvin, DigiKey, just to name a few, certainly UND as well. So again, thank you to all the sponsors. So please come check out the robots, come check them out. We could not do this without the teams, the sponsors, all of the volunteers. So it's going to be a ton of fun, and it is a weekend full of energy. These kids put their life into these robots, and they spent 6-7 weeks building them, and now they are competing fiercely, and it's cooperation. They are competing and working together, and it is fierce, lots of energy, and at the same time a ton of fun, and couldn't recommend it more. It is a great way to spend Friday and Saturday.
No, 100%, 100%. And it is one of those things. It's just like, look, just go. You're not gonna be bored. No.
Yeah. And I guarantee it's one of those where we're gonna go check out for a half hour, an hour.
Oh yeah.
You will sit down, start watching, and next thing you know, we'll be going into championships on Saturday and awards, and you'll go, where did my last 2 days go? Because that's what happens. Even for me, where I'm there right away Wednesday morning, and we are moving and grooving and setting up, and next thing you know, we're taking it all down and it's over, and we're going, this was an amazing weekend, but what happened to the weekend?
Now, I'm going to ask you an unfair question here, but what is your favorite part about the live events? Even if you just want to look at, what is your favorite part about the Grand Forks event?
So as a coach or committee member, I really wanted to give you the political answer and go, hey, it's seeing all the kids, seeing all of the activities, seeing them compete fiercely. And there is a little part of me that when I go to these events and work with the other volunteers that are in the hundreds of other roles that we have, it's seeing all the friends again, seeing your counterpart coaches from around the area that, hey, you talk to all the time, or you see once or twice a year, those coaches maybe out of the Twin Cities that through the years you become friends with, the volunteers you become friends with. And it is a lot of fun to see all your friends that haven't seen in a while and catch up with them. And the adults, we have as much fun as the students do, and the students are having a blast, and they're always grinning, laughing, smiling. Yes, there's some stress about getting the robot going on the field, but at the end of the day, it is all about how much fun everybody has, young, old, new, not, returners. So I really enjoy working with the people that put on the event, making sure the event is running, seeing the kids and the students and the teams enjoying the event. When we're putting the field away, knowing that, everyone came in, had a fantastic event, they all had fun. They're coming up saying, hey, thank you, this was a ton of fun. That, to me, that is the best part of it, is being able to put on a successful event and see the teams do well and, get them ready for the next event or moving on the World's Championship.
Oh, perfect. Now, with that being said, don't want to look too far into the future with what Grand Forks is coming up and everything else like that. But real quick, and probably last question here. After Grand Forks, what is next for you and your team?
Next for us is Worlds. We the team qualified for Worlds last weekend in Duluth, winning the Engineering Inspiration Award. That award again recognizes the team's efforts to advance further into engineering and STEM and what they're doing in that area. It's one of the harder awards that teams can win. And we are fortunate enough that we have won it now 2 years in a row, something that is hard to do. The team, from what I can find, it's been only done a handful of times in the 30 years first. So it's really significant. We could not be prouder of our students. Certainly all of their time and effort before season, postseason, during the season, to put it together, reaching out, doing things. Our Jumpstart event they were a part of and helped us put on. Certainly kickoff every year. We were fortunate enough to have Air Show in Fargo over the last summer, and did a huge STEM Expo event out there and had a field underneath a tent on the airfield and had robotics matches going. So it was amazing to get that kind of outreach with 30,000 people coming through the air show. Certainly the students had a significant and measurable outreach. So we couldn't be prouder of them. This is a very special group of seniors, like we had talked about, like my students I talked about. There are a few classes that come to mind over the 16 years I've done this, and this is certainly one of the top that I've dealt with. The previous group would have been one of the ones I worked with 876, and I still work with some of those students now that are mentors for Fargo and still with 876 mentoring now. So it's going to be really special. We're going to miss them. We're excited to see what they do, but it's going to be tough for sure. These students have as big of an impact on us as we have on them. So they will be missed. Certainly it's recruiting and trying to get the next generation coming up, but these students really put their heart and soul into this, and glad they're being rewarded. So after Grand Forks, it's going to be a quick 3 weeks of fundraising for Worlds. Certainly that is some costs associated with traveling down to Houston, Texas. So that is going to be a significant challenge that we're going to work through and get those kids down there. After that, then it's going to be into our off season again, which again, we're as busy in the off season now with certainly we have recruiting locally, but then a little more largely, we'll do some off season stuff out at the Red River Valley Fair, our STEM Expo off season event. We're looking at again doing certainly NMRC Championship and Open. We'll jump into Jumpstart, then getting everyone ready in December, training up, new students at that event, and hopefully getting some returners and even seniors to learn something new from the knowledge share that goes on at that event. And then we go back into kickoff and building the robot again. So, you got a little focus on being in the moment now, but it's part of being a coach and planning committee and volunteer is, hey, we don't stop. We always want to keep working and getting ready for the next event and keep focusing on things like this so that the students can have a great experience year after year and, decade after decade.
Right. Now, and we talked about it with a few of the teammates already, a few of your seniors, which it's hard not to be a few of your seniors. I mean, when you're saying recruiting, it is you are recruiting. You, I believe, you have eight members. 6 of them are seniors, so you're going to be left with 2, and then they're going to have to teach in and lead these other, the new recruits and everything. But you already touched on it, how it is. I mean, they're special, it's everything else, but what they went into what recruiting looks like on their end. As a coach for you, what is recruiting looking like on your end, or is there not too much of a difference?
So there is, certainly, what they're doing is fantastic. They're going down to Lego League, trying to get people, students built up that way through and generate feeder channels from Lego League into Tech Challenge, into robotics competition, and getting that flow there. As a coach, we're certainly helping with that too. All of us we're part of putting on the Lego League competition and first Tech Challenge regional event this year at NDSU. We've helped do that a few years, and those are fantastic events that happen in January. So again, people that may not be able to come to Grand Forks, January, come check out the Lego League and Tech Challenge. Those are, to see that level too, is always a ton of fun because there's even more energy there. So for us, we will start working with the schools. Fargo, it is a public school team, so we work with North, South, and Davies, the 3 main public high schools in the area. And we'll start reaching out to them saying, hey, robotics is coming up again, especially where we'll be looking at next year. Teachers, CTE teachers, please, anyone interested, spread the word. We'll start going to activity nights or sign up nights and do recruiting events at the schools or lunch or after school and just gauge the interest. We are very fortunate here with Fargo Moorhead that we build together with being sister teams. So we actually build over at the Moorhead Career Academy. So it is fantastic that Moorhead has opened up their doors to us so that we can build. We share coaches, we share resources, tools, materials, knowledge back and forth between the 2 teams. And that is invaluable and something that is very unique, and you don't see a lot of with 2 teams building side by side. And we kind of pride ourselves that for 2 teams that are sister teams, we do a lot together, brainstorming together. Our robots are totally different, and that is really cool to see how, one team will go one way and the other team will go other way. And, as coaches and mentors, we support that and see what we can get out of them. So it's great that we can be over here and have that shared ability and have a dedicated space. There are some schools that space can be a premium for them, so we are very fortunate. It does pose a challenge about getting students over here. Certainly once they're able to drive, that does help a lot. Otherwise, it's coordinating rides back and forth with parents and getting students here and getting them back. So that is one challenge we have, though, is getting students to practice. A lot of schools, let's just walk down the hallway. For us, it's, hey guys, you got to come across the river. So it poses a challenge, but again, we've been able to do a lot of good and have that strong partnership and relationship with Moorhead. And it's fun being able to go to a competition with your friends and neighbors and buddies, and it kind of helps when you're at events with travel and things like that, and you always know that, hey, if we don't have this motor, well, they do, cool, or now we got to go start looking a little broader. So it's really, we have a very unique and awesome situation here, and want to continue fostering and grow that. So we've got a lot in front of us. We've kind of flipped around. Moorhead was working and recruiting a few years ago. Now their team is considerably larger, and we're going to be dropping down to a much smaller team, and we'll be recruiting. So we will certainly get there, and we'll miss our seniors, and can't wait to see what next year brings. But it's going to be way different. We're losing some of our huge build team players and our awards team, so we're going to be starting kind of from square one. Fortunately, our programming leads will still be here, so we'll be able to program the robot. Hopefully we can build one.
Yep. Now, in all of that, a lot of future, everything like that. It's still looking in the future, not that far in the future, but you did already bring up Worlds. Congratulations on already, punching your ticket to Worlds and being able to do it. You brought it up already, the engineering award that you guys won. Fantastic. 2 times in a row, very rare. And if I'm not mistaken, you guys are the only team to win it in North Dakota, right?
We're the only team that's been able to win it back to back.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. No.
So there's been a few times where that award has been given out, but as far as something like that goes, it's not very common to win that award, and to do it back to back is even more rare. So it's the first time a North Dakota team has won it back to back. Some of the other teams that have won it, there's one out of Minnesota, a few out of California, and a few dotted here and there, but less than a handful. So it's a great honor, and I will admit it still kind of seems like it's still kind of setting in.
But it's an awesome setting in process. Now, another unfair question. With how many hats you have, I mean, did you kind of see this coming? Like, oh, we're going to win this again, apparently, or was this a complete shock to everybody?
So the last 2 years, I can say it was a complete and utter shock. With the number of hats I wear, the one hat I don't wear is a judge hat. I've judged once at an event down in the Twin Cities. I don't think I made a great judge, so I try to focus on making sure the events run. Very fortunate in the FRC Northland. We have some fantastic judge advisors and judges. I know a lot of the judges, and it's a fantastic group of people that have an incredibly difficult job to go around and talk to all these teams and go, wow, look at all of this good that these teams are doing, and try to give out awards for it. That is an incredibly difficult job. And as much as I think that I have a tough job making sure the robots run, or we're on time, or technical things, the judges, I can't give enough credit to them. Last year, being in Grand Forks, winning it was so very cool to have so many people there, family members, friends, for myself and for the team. Was awesome, and it was just a great honor. And then in Duluth, certainly I was on the field, and by the time we get to awards, we're all kind of starting to wrap up for the day. There might be 1 or 2 matches left, and we're like, okay, we're almost there. We can, we're starting to put together, here's our game plan for tearing down the field. And they get to the Engineering Inspiration Award, and we're just kind of paying attention, and the judges they'll read off what they wrote, and the last bit was where the Red River flows, and I was like, no, what? This can't be us. Is there a team that's Red River? I know, okay, and then they called us, and it just, wow, it was unbelievable. So being on the field, and again standing next to all of my friends who are involved in FIRST as volunteers or teams, and they're just patting you on the back, giving you hugs, going, oh my gosh, you guys won it again. It just it's one of those things that sits with you and will stick with you forever. And, I had no idea. So it was incredible. And I have to give a huge shout out to the scorekeeper who had to enter in all the awards and everyone on the field that knew that the team was getting it, but they didn't want to ruin the surprise for me. So, I had no idea that they were trying to do it or hide anything for awards because it's secret. You want people to be surprised.
Right.
Cool. Oh. So yeah, when they announced us, I was just in complete and utter shock. So it was, it's really cool to be able to do it, to do an achievement like that. But it's really special for the team that we have, this incredible group of seniors we have, and the rest of the team members, to be surrounded by all my friends on the field. It was incredible.
Absolutely. All right. Last two questions. Again, already talked with some of the students.
Mhm.
Ask them the same thing. What is your goal going into Duluth? For them, it was very simple. It was win.
Yep.
For a mentor, what is the goal going in, and what is the goal you're hoping that this kid have?
So selfishly, we would love to win impact and win the event, and doing so would generate 2 wild cards so that 2 other teams would be able to go. It would be because since we've already qualified, each event gets so many qualified, so you get wild cards, and that's really cool when you can generate those. So, my answer has changed. If we weren't qualified yet, that's certainly, we want to try to win EI impact or win the event to qualify for champs, because again, being able to take this group to Worlds again is going to be a once in a lifetime thing for us and them. As a mentor, now that we've qualified for Worlds, I would love to, I want to do extremely well. I would love to see the kids do well in their impact statement. I'd love to see them win impact. I watched their impact and it is fantastic. One thing with going back to EI was we were sitting in the hotel in Duluth kind of talking, and me and 2 other mentors, we called the students, said, hey, come down, we want to see your impact presentation. They did their impact presentation. We were like, oh, really good. And then we looked through the binder, and then we went, oh, shoot, they did a really good job. We didn't think last year's binder was awesome. And then we looked at it this year and we went, oh, wow, they did a better job. We didn't think that was possible. Again, no idea that gets in the running. So I'd love to see the kids do well at impact. I want to see the robot do well and have us placed high. So officially, I'm just hoping we don't break anything major. I'd like, now that we have championship, it's like, okay, hey, we want to do well, we want to win, but guys, instead of driving like you stole it, can you, kind of pretend we have a very limited warranty on the robot? And
we have a very limited warranty on the robot.
We don't want to drive it like we stole it. So, play fierce and compete well, but I don't want to have to put the robot up on the hoist and spend 3 weeks trying to piece Humpty Dumpty back together again. So, again, just this is going to be the last opportunity in Grand Forks for a lot of our students, and this is a home event for us with being so close to Grand Forks. So it's, I want them to have a good showing. I want them to have fun. If we can win something, it would be great. And please don't destroy the robot.
Fantastic. Now, and again, when it comes to these championships and everything else, I mean, there's worlds, there's universes, there's things like that, and they're all in different locations. It seems like the last few years has been in Houston. You were in Houston last year for Worlds. I always selfishly, and this is just me, this is how my mind works and everything like that. I love when you guys are traveling, because one of the easiest and things that I like asking is like, hey, have you eaten anything really good and anything like that? So you've been to Houston before,
Yep.
you've been to Worlds. Are you looking, are you already thinking like, hey, can't wait to get back to this place, or like, oh man, I really want to try some of this food or something like that?
There's a barbecue joint about a half a mile, 3/4 mile from the venue that is really good Texas barbecue. So, you go down there, you gotta get some good Texas barbecue. Um, you know, we love being from North Dakota, going down to Houston, Texas in the middle of April. A little bit of a shock. Um, Last year we got into the pits and we all looked at each other and went, we're a little too thick-blooded for this. This is a little warm and humid and we're not quite ready for this. So really being able to be outside that early was great. We after the event was done Saturday, we loaded up the team and went back to the hotel, checked out of the hotel Sunday, and we went down to Kennedy Space Center, checked that out. That was a lot of fun. And then we were like a half hour from the coast, so we drove over to the coast, and that was a ton of fun to get the kids to see the ocean again. And so yeah, the Texas barbecue we're looking forward to, but anytime we can sit down and eat outside and make it feel like it's summer already, I'm excited for. There is a lot of work we have to do to get there. Certainly the fundraising needs to happen and happen quickly so that we can get there. But yeah, I'm looking forward to some barbecue again.
Oh, perfect. Well, hey, look, thank you so much. It's always a pleasure. I can't wait. Next week, can't wait. We're gonna chop it up. Everything else, can't wait to see everybody else at Grand Forks. And once again, thank you so much for your time. Truly appreciate it.
Thank you.
For everyone else, we'll be right back.